Hi, everybody. My name is VVardrake.
I'm Berk.
And we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of discussion when it comes to the necessity or potential necessity of character creation within games. We read a few articles and we came to our conclusions when it comes to what we feel is important or not important about character creation and the restrictions that we can experience. So I guess the first question to ask is, when is it important or proper to have character creation? When do you think?
I think it depends on the game.
Of course.
Because in my experience, there have been some games I enjoy playing that offer a default character, such as like Dead Space.
Sure.
Or The Witcher, which I really haven't played much The Witcher.
No.
But games like that, they set you off with a main character you play as. The character has a background. The character has connections to other people within the game and before the game. So you kind of have a basis to play the game with, and then you continue on. You have something to connect to. But I've also enjoyed other games where you have to create your own character, like Skyrim.
Yes, of
it's
course.
A big major create your own character.
Pretty much all of Bethesda's.
True. Bethesda's
Except for
like Fallout and.
Except for what game was it? What game did they release that was with the mask?
You mean Dishonored?
Yeah, Dishonored did not have character creation.
I never played that game.
I played a little bit, although there was no character creation. It had a set story, and that's something that I think is important. Is I like to think of games, single player games at least, as a book, and because it's a book, I've never seen a book where it says name your character.
Well, I think some books are like that,
or create a character.
Like choose your own adventure book kind of game, or not game.
Even those have a set character per se, but you do get to make the choices as to where to go or what to do.
Yeah.
Although limited they may be, because
it's a book.
Exactly. There's only so much. You can't have like a 38,000 page book and have it choose your own
dictionary styles.
That would be entertaining.
That'd be
I would love to see a book that big as a choose your own adventure, because it'd be like, turn to page 38,000. Oh my god.
Seriously.
You see this guy, he's like, yeah, but with all of choose your own adventures, I saved my space. And crushed.
His book's covered with bookmarks everywhere.
Right? It's just like, go back 37 times. Oh my god.
Seriously.
But I feel that when it comes to most single player games, having a set character is kind of important. We grew up with games that had silent protagonists at the main point. We love the Final Fantasy series, and there's only been 2 games that I'm aware of that has let you create your own character, and those were both the MMORPG styles, Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14, which are both great games as well.
Yeah, I was going to mention.
But those
14.
are not single-player games as a standpoint.
Yeah.
So I've been replaying Final Fantasy 9 now that's been released on Steam. I've been playing it a lot. It's been a lot of fun. And, of course, all the characters are preset.
Yeah, defaults.
And I love that. But I don't think I don't think character creation is invalid for certain single-player games. You brought up Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Mass Effect, it was created in a way that no matter what you chose, it still fit. Whether male or female, your looks didn't matter. Your background did change a little bit of dialogue, but everybody kept calling you Shepard. That was the only thing you could really not change, was your last name. And I felt that worked fairly well.
And you enjoyed it, didn't you? Played it recently.
I played through all 3, although I haven't finished number 3 because that last fight's just crazy.
Hard.
The last part of the fights with all those banshees coming out everywhere, they're broken system, in my opinion. All in all, it's a blast. I've loved how the character creation didn't really get in the way of the story, but then there are times that character creation can a little bit. Could you just imagine playing Witcher? Or, I don't know, a Final Fantasy game where you had to build your own character and then have the story change depending on what gender you chose or how you looked.
It'd be different.
Exactly.
Not bad, but
no,
different.
Not bad. But I think it would be a different experience that we're not used to. And that doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means we're stuck a little bit in our opinions when it comes to what constitutes games that require character creation. I think character creation is more or less secluded to multiplayer platforms.
Where you play online with all people?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Kind of like Ark.
Yeah, definitely with Ark
can't wait. Honestly, in my experience of playing video games, I haven't played a lot of character creation type games.
Yeah.
There's been some like big major one is Final Fantasy 14. I really really enjoyed it.
And character creation is important with MMOs.
You had to make your own character, whether different race and your origin, whatever. That's fine. But that's one of the only games I can think of at the moment that in the most recent time, whatever you call it, that I enjoyed playing a game where I had to make a character. I tried playing Skyrim. I know people out there are going to hate me for this, but I really don't like it. I am not a fan of the story. Same with Fallout. I wasn't a big... I played them some. I got so far into the game, and I couldn't keep playing, not because of the story, or it's just a culmination of everything is just not my kind of genre
I
of game.
found Skyrim to be confusing because of all the side missions and you get lost where you're going.
Though there is a genre of game that's like that, where it's open world and you can do whatever the hell you want, which is Far Cry. I am fucking addicted to Far Cry.
Oh, I know.
I really like Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4. I want to play Primal real bad.
Yep.
Like that kind of game, you don't make your own character. You are given a character, which I guess when it comes down to it, I enjoy much more a game that you are given a default character.
I think
instead of making your own.
I think it builds a better sounding story. That's not 100% what I mean, but
overall, it kind of gives you a basis to connect to the character, to your own life. So you feel more connected to the game life.
Yeah, and that's something that I find pretty frustrating with a lot of create your own character style games. You don't get a whole opportunity to really create a background story. Let's bring up Skyrim again. When you create a character in Skyrim, for the most part, people don't create a background story. Where did you come from? Mm-hmm. Why are you there? What were you in a past part of the story? Whereas certain games, I have seen a few that were single player that they let you create your own character. They also have a section that if you wanted to, could create a background bio. Does it really pertain to the story? No, not at all. But it's for your own thing. And you can kind of play off of that. Coming from playing a lot of Dungeons & Dragons, although I wasn't that great at it, honestly, it was kind of fun to create a background story for your character. One that worked, one that you could play into the story. And so even though that's very difficult, if not nearly impossible, to put into a game naturally, it's still kind of nice to have. And that's where I think MMOs come into play. You create your own identity the way you would like. Now, I fashion it fairly often after myself.
Or close to yourself
or
as you can.
As close as possible. Only because it's the most thing I can relate to, where you like to choose things that are not directly close to yourself.
Well, sometimes, like when I played Fallout 4, it has a mode in the beginning of the game that you can take a picture of yourself, import it into the game itself, so then you can model your face into the character's face.
Right, that's true.
And
which was pretty neat.
Sometimes it's spot on, sometimes it's not.
I've seen it messes up.
But mine seemed, if I put glasses on the character, it looked pretty spot on to me in real life. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like I have a connection to the character because it looks like me.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I like making characters that have different colored hair, that they're taller or shorter or bigger or whatever, because I have the freedom to do that. It's a game. It's not me.
It's like in Final Fantasy 14, your brother chose the Lalafell, which is like
tiny
little people. He loves them to death. He's probably the tallest out of all of us, by at least a little bit. And yet he liked the little tiny Lalafell character. He thought it was entertaining, fun, and he has a blast. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. For me, I chose the human. Why? Because I can make it look a bit more like myself.
Because you are human.
What are you saying?
You chose human because you're human, right?
Are you saying that's selective?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm kidding. That's exactly why I chose it. It's more relatable to me. Now, if I try to create a character that is not relatable to me, it's not a bad thing. I've enjoyed it before, but I don't enjoy it as much because for me, it's not as immersive. So character creation has its place, and I've enjoyed it. But I don't know. When I pick up a book, I expect everything to be there. You know?
Yeah. And
so I attach a little better to when a character is already made for me on a single player. And that brings up, when it comes to multiplayer, not being able to create your own character. There have been a few multiplayer games in the past that have done that.
Like, you're given this. Too bad.
And that's actually one thing, when doing our research, I came across an article and I shared it with my friend here, about Rust. Rust has always been a game where you couldn't really make selections for character creation. And that's okay. I mean, it's not my cup of tea when it comes to multiplayer, but it works.
Yeah.
But recently, they of course released the ability to have women characters in
More
the game.
updates.
Which
Updates.
is-
sometimes updates are good.
And I think
Sometimes they're not.
And I think adding a woman to the game was perfectly fine.
So beforehand, it was just all male.
Yes, that was the limitation they had originally.
Huh.
What I don't like is how they implemented it, which is you don't get a choice whether you're male or female. Don't get me wrong, women in games, awesome. I freaking love it. Whether
women in games.
Come on, dude. Whether you are a guy playing as a woman playing as a guy, or if you're playing as the gender that you are, totally up to you. I've seen it many times where, you see a girl character in a game, you're like, hey, what's up? And you find out it's a guy. It's like, oh, okay.
I don't think it really matters, does it?
No, it doesn't. Not particularly, but it's the fact you don't get to choose at this point. They choose for you through your Steam ID number.
Which is weird, in my opinion. Like, why is so restrictive?
I see the purpose behind it.
You, according to your own Steam account, where you have no choice of how it's made, you're given this ID from the company. Hey, you made an account. This is your ID. Here you go. And then this this game developer is like, hey, guess what? We're gonna make your character according to your ID.
Yeah.
Whether it be male or female or whoever, I don't care. Just here you go.
Not by your ID name, though, which I found interesting, but your actual ID number, which was pretty interesting. But that also made it so you couldn't just change your name to hopefully get the character that you want, the gender that you want. I've got no problem against them being in the game. I just don't like the fact that you don't get to choose between male and female, whether it's randomized or not. That's something that I actually find very frustrating. I haven't played Rust for myself. I've seen plenty of gameplay of it through other YouTubers, and
Have you wanted to play it? Like
I have
before
wanted
this article you read?
I have. Well, I still want to play it, but I just haven't gotten around to it. Nor do I really want to spend a lot of money right now. And it's not an expensive game. Anyone that likes those kinds of games and loves to dedicate lots of time into it, by all means, pick it up. It looks to be a very decent, if not great, version of the survive, build, and conquer kind of games. Conquer being taking out other players you don't want or you don't like, or defending yourself. But for the most fact, I don't want to spend money on something I know I'm not going to dedicate a lot of time to because I just don't have the patience.
Sure.
I got picked up Subnautica. It's a great game. There is no gender selection of any kind. There's no character creation. In fact, as far as I can tell, you don't even have a name. You are you.
Are you just like, is it an exploratory game?
Yeah, it's exploratory, completely underwater. Oh, I think they added islands now, which is kind of cool. But the basic idea is underwater exploratory, which is really cool. It's a lot of fun. I played it for like an hour and a half, and I haven't touched it since. Not because I don't like it. I just don't take the time to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Those that love the game, love the game. Those that don't. I think it's beautiful. I just don't prefer it when it comes to its gameplay style in the long run. So I don't know. To me, it feels weird that you don't get to pick the gender.
At all.
You
don't get to pick gender, name, custom is like how big you are, how small you are, what color you are. It's just, here you go.
And I understand why. The developer of this game doesn't like how companies are so dedicated or stuck on showing character creation. I can understand that, but I would rather at least pick your gender, if not pick your race, than have literally no choice whatsoever.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in a game that you're going to be interacting with plenty of people. I don't know. To me, it feels weird to me that you don't get to. What about you? What do you think?
Well, I guess I would have the same opinion about it. I guess it comes back down to me disliking default characters, and every so often when I have enjoyed a game where I can choose how the character looks and is, I do, and well,
because you like default characters in single player games.
Because I don't,
right? Well, when they're built that way.
Yeah.
Whereas you like character creation with multiplayer aspects. Correct?
Character creation, yes, but to a point. I don't like spending a lot of time in the character creation because I'd rather just get to the game and play.
Sure, which this definitely does.
Well, true. It's just I would, even if it's a quick character creation, here you go, your character, keep going. Now you can go play now. But I don't think I like the concept where you have no choice whatsoever of what your character looks like, even if you don't see them very often as first person. Or if it's
Right,
first
that's
person.
true. Well, let's say in Rust and those kind of survival games, you can usually go into third person for certain aspects. But you're right, for the most part, you're usually in first person.
Yeah.
Taking Ark, for example, you're first person for a lot of it, but you can zoom out to third person if you want to look around you or look what you look like, so on, so forth. So there was one aspect of single player where, of course, you have a standard character and you have multiplayer potential or possibilities within the game that didn't let you make character creation at all that I've run across recently, and that's Dying Light. Dying Light is a wonderful game.
I do want to play that game.
It
It's
is
freaking awesome.
The graphics are phenomenal. The story, I think, is pretty good, especially with its expansion. All in all, and its combat and its zombies work perfectly. I think it's a great game.
Sweet.
Especially since I've come from Left 4 Dead. I love Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead's awesome.
I've played other zombie games since then. They never really caught my eye. Dying Light did, and I thought it was great. But when it comes to multiplayer aspect, there's no character creation of any kind. Everyone is the main character.
Everybody's the same?
You all look the same. You all have the same voiceovers.
Huh.
Everything. The only difference you can have is you can change what you're wearing. That's the only determining factor. And so when you're running around all wearing the same thing, God, who knows who you are, basically. And I find that a wasted opportunity to create
something
even
unique.
A simple character creation, even if it just meant selecting one of the already pre-made storyline characters or having a bunch of presets out that aren't storyline, but it could work. I find it.
Wonder why they didn't do that.
I find it a sad missed opportunity, and I don't know. I don't think it's about laziness in any way. I think it was just a matter of the storyline has one character. You can have multiplayer aspect to add more fun, but we haven't prepared the story for multiplayer.
Interesting.
That's my thought. And that's something that, I found it a disappointment. Because when you're running around and everybody else looks like you, although it's a limited multiplayer. It's not like a worldwide.
Yeah.
You can have, up to 4 people, I think? I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I guess there's no originality. There's no being unique.
Yeah, and that's a shame. So, when it comes to my opinion, single-player games, it's not necessary. In fact, in my opinion, it's unwanted. But in any multiplayer form, including single players that go multiplayer for certain aspects, it's borderline necessary.
Gotcha.
To create your own identity or at least differentiate from others. What about you?
Well, it comes down to, for me, it comes down to the brass tacks or the tasty burritos. I know.
What?
Oh no!
Tasty burritos. It's good.
I like the default character. I generate. I was looking at my list of all my Steam games that I have. I have a good list.
Oh, dear
and
God.
I was looking through all of them. I was seeing, do I have any games where it's create your own character? I barely have any.
Yeah.
They're all single player. Well, not all single player games, but
right.
all majority.
A majority of them.
I can't talk. Majority of them are all single player games where the character is set for you.
Yeah.
And I just gravitate to those types of games because I enjoy them. But every so often when I play a game that I have to create a character and I do enjoy it, then cool. If I don't, oh well.
Unless it takes hours to make your
character.
character.
Frick.
Man.
I do not like where you have to every fine detail of your hair and your color and your way your nose looks and God.
It's like having a slider with a character creator. It's like I can't tell the difference because it's so minute.
Yes. So stupid.
But there's a reason for it, and I see the reason. The more advanced the character creation, look at Black Desert. The character creator on there is insane. You don't necessarily have any sliders as much as you have the fact you can grab the top of your eyebrow and you can reposition it, and that's just what it looks like.
That's nuts.
You can put your character in a pose by literally moving every joint to make yourself pointing forward, and that's your pose, and then you take a picture, and that's your character profile picture.
That's nuts.
It's really cool and completely unnecessary with how long it takes.
I can imagine people who love those games probably take more time to create one character than they spend time playing the game.
Very possible. I mean, I spent probably 20 minutes making my character in total. That's all the details I needed. Boom, done. I was in the game. Your brother spent...
Which one, Devin or Nick?
Devin, in this case. Devin spent probably God, 3 hours plus making his character, making it perfect, putting it into different poses, which was hilarious and fun. But I'm just like, dude, start the game, man.
Just play.
That was during the beta. That wasn't even during the game itself.
Does he even keep that customized character even if he gets the game?
Well, yeah, he did. I didn't remember if he kept it or not. Oh, no. Yes, I believe he kept the final beta character, which is the early access beta, if you pre-ordered the game, compared to the beta test you did during the opens or whatever, or the previous closed betas.
That's crazy.
All in all, it's just like, dude, just play the game. And he enjoyed the game too, of course, and he loved the character creator. But I think that's taking it just a tad too far. That it makes you want to work with the character creator more than actually entering and having fun.
Okay.
Well, all in all, our opinions are
our opinions
different, but you know what?
To each his own, apparently.
Yeah, let's punch you later.
What?
What? What? You didn't hear that? That wasn't recorded or nothing. Don't worry. Just bleep that out. It's all good.
Whatever.
I'll cut that out. No, I'm kidding. All in all, yeah. I mean, character creator is a great thing when it comes to certain aspects, but who knows?
I default with the default.
Same here. I don't even change names mostly when I'm playing games. It's like, would you want your name? That'll work. Unless you have to change the name, then it's like,
please.
What do I want to do? That's why I love randomized buttons sometimes. Although I don't mind making my own names here and there. So, all right. In that case, we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Leave them in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't. And if you don't, we'll just hunt you down.
Like it.
Hypnotoad. Like it. In that case, thank you guys for joining us. We'll try to make some more opinions in the future, and we love to hear from you guys.
Thanks.
See you guys.